Am I the asshole for telling my fiancé there will be no wedding if she keeps insisting I invite my parents? So some backstory. My dad left the family and went no contact when I 35M was 4. My mom remarried and had 2 kids with my stepdad. My stepdad never treated me poorly, but always made clear that I was Dale, fake name, to him. He was not my dad. My mom never tried to fix the relationship and honestly loved her new family and always saw me as a burden. That's what I thought, at least until it was confirmed after my freshman year of college when my mom asked me not to come home anymore. I blocked her after that phone call and have had no contact with her or my stepdad and half-brother since then. I do still speak to my half-sister 25F at her insistence, but that's my only contact. It took me a long time to deal with basically being kicked out of my family. I grew to be pretty independent and thought I'd live alone until I met my fiancé 28F 4 years ago. We have had a great relationship and her family opened up and invited me in with open arms. She comes from a pretty typical suburban family and they are great. Over the years, I've told her about my issues with my family. She has met my sister and she never pushed for more until we started planning the wedding. When we started talking about who we would invite, I talked about friends from college and coworkers, and she kept saying I should invite my parents. At first I thought she was just trying to gauge if I wanted to. I said I would not be inviting my parents. She said okay, but then brought it up again the next day. I calmly explained how much they hurt me, how growing up feeling you were unwanted and then having it confirmed at 19 really stunted my mental health. That over the years I have realized it's their problem, and if they ever want to solve it then they can initiate, but I am in contact with my sister and it is clear they are happy insisting I don't exist. It sucks, but it's their problem that they have thrust onto me. I can't be the one to solve it. I thought it had ended, but she has brought it up 2 more times. The last one was last night. We were about to start the save the dates and she said, "Are you sure you don't want to invite you parents? I feel like I might just invite them on my side." And I snapped. I told her we should probably just throw the invitations away because if you can't respect what I've been through then I don't want to marry you. I then went to our bedroom and fumed for a while. She came in to try to talk to me and I walked out, grabbed my keys and left. I came back around 11 p.m. after hanging with friends and slept on the couch. She left for work without a word to me and I don't know where we stand. Her behavior is unacceptable, but I feel I may have gone too far. What do you all think? Am I the asshole?
My BF 26M wants to meet 26F to move to his small town with him and the sacrifice is too much for me. What do I do? Just some background information. 26F and my BF 26M just celebrated our 5-year anniversary. He is from a remote northern Canadian town and we currently live in a city 6-ish hours away and just bought a house a year ago. I am from another province, but I have family in the city and drive home 8-ish hours usually around the holidays and long weekends. He is extremely close with his family and often goes to visit at least once a month. Some more context. He works a fly in and out job so I only see half year. He has asked me to back for years and I always told him I didn't want to because I would be giving up everything. I finally feel happy the life I have built in the city. I have new lasting friendships, a good relationship with my family, adventure and hobbies. I train aerial arts. I already struggle with loneliness and depression. He's at work as I tend to isolate myself pretty easily and have to force myself to go out. Otherwise I won't have human interaction for days at a time. We just found out last week that his dad has cancer. His dad is his biggest role model, so of course this has destroyed him. He feels guilty for not spending more time, not being there the last 5 years, etc. I'm doing my best to be a rock for him when it's it. But he is left to go spend a few months with his family, which is fine because it's what he needs the most right now. And I told him I would look after the house while he's away. Of course now the idea of us moving there is stronger than ever. As he said, it's a damn good reason to back. His dad is taking about leaving him the house, and his mom is talking about how someone will move in with her if something were to happen since she can't look after everything herself. They live on a few acres of land. He has 3 other siblings, 2 of them have their own families, but they all live in the town. His closest brother has mentioned that he and his fiancée are willing to move in with his mom since they are the only ones without a mortgage. Of course, I love my BF so much, and I never want to lose him, and I always said he was the one we were going to get married. I know it's selfish, and maybe I'm an asshole, but I would be giving up everything to there. My family, my friends, my aerial arts, my job, everything. My family back home has repeatedly told not to there as it's too remote, and will never be able to visit. It's over 10 hours of driving. I've always been a city girl. I like going out to bars, restaurants, festivals, downtown life, having my out-of-town friends visit, etc. My BF has always been a country boy, grew up quadding, fishing, shooting, etc. I enjoy the country, but this is not the life I would have made for myself. I'm not sure that I can be happy there, and I'm afraid of being left alone there with no support while he's gone to work. My family would never visit, and neither would my friends. I want to support him, but I'm not sure about making the sacrifice, but I don't want to lose him there. TLDR. BF is from small remote town and wants to move back. I don't want to because the sacrifice is too much for me. His dad has cancer, and now the pressure to back is on.
I, 36M, just found out my partner 35F of 6 years has been lying about her career. How do I bring it up? I have been with my partner for 6 years, and for that whole time she has told me that she is a registered nurse at the local hospital. I never had any reason to question that for the last 6 years. But now I believe she's actually a nanny, not a nurse. How I found out: we let someone borrow her car for a road trip, so we put an AirTag in the car for our peace of mind. The borrower knew. When the car came back, I forgot to take AirTag out of her car. A couple days later, my partner pocket dialed while I was at work and I could hear kids in the background. So I immediately texted her back to make sure everything was up, that I remembered the AirTag was still in the car. When I checked, her car was not at the hospital, but actually at a doctor's house that she babysits for on the occasional weekend. That night when she got home, she had this crazy story that she took the train from the hospital and ran into that doctor's family on the train. That's why I heard kids. When I asked her if she parked her car at their house, she said no, I left it at the hospital. I decided that I needed more evidence before I confronted her, so I let that lie go. The next day, sure enough, her car was back at that doctor's house. And for the last few weekdays, that car has been spending all day at their house. I removed the AirTag now because it was too painful to see. My partner's background. My partner immigrated to the country 11 years ago on her own to help family back in her home country. I checked the state registry for nurses and she doesn't show up. I also found some of her tax documents that showed she was a nanny 8 years ago. I couldn't find any recent documentation. My goal: we never have any conflicts, and it's been the best relationship I have ever had, and I don't want to lose that. How do I confront her about the lie without it blowing up into a "you don't trust me" situation? Why does she need to lie about her career in the first place?
My 36F husband, 35M, lied to me about a trip. How can I ever trust him again? We've been together over 5 years and married for 4 months. We also have an infant daughter. His good friend is getting married, and he sort of casually mentioned the bachelor party a couple months ago. I assumed it was going to be where they're from and where the wedding is, and when I mentioned it maybe a month after he brought it up, he said no, it's in Miami. He was never super detailed and avoided speaking about it much. I don't really agree with the whole idea of bachelor parties, but he acts like I'm the only one of his friends' spouses who might even think twice. The only thing I mentioned was that it wasn't the best time because I'm back from maternity and he is caring for the baby while he is on. He did suggest a backup plan of asking a relative to come by. I work at home, but we also have a young dog that goes crazy when new people are around, and I would spend the whole time listening to him bark or dealing with him. Also, the baby can't go anywhere else because she refuses a bottle. So he never asked but made the plan, and I didn't protest because I'm made to look like the only one who cares about this sort of thing. Also, he told me last minute he was leaving Wednesday and not Thursday, leaving me down another work day. He acted like it was a mistake, but I'm not sure. Anyway, the second day he was gone, I had to call in for something related to a contractor. He called me the night before and connection was terrible. While the phone rings and it's not the same ring as usual. So I look it up and that is the ring used who are in Europe or South America. Also, I investigate to get facts before I ask. I check and his passport is gone. In his email on our laptop, there is a booking confirmation from Miami to Medellin, Colombia made over 2 months ago. So I text and ask if he is in Miami. I should have just waited, but I'm too impatient and I tell him that's the last time we'll lie to. He gets back to me and tells me he was just told to bring his passport. He didn't plan anything. He already tried to set this lie up before he left by telling he was told there were a lot of surprises, but never said anything about a passport. Well, obviously it is all a lie because it was booked months ago by him. So I press and he still doesn't admit it. But I tell him I know the truth, cuss him out and ignore him. On top of all of that, he stays there still doing whatever he is doing. Oh, when it's Mother's Day weekend and I just get a text that says Happy Mother's Day and there is something in the mail, there's not. I still mostly ignore him. Of course I am furious. Obviously he lied because of what happens down there. He could have been doing the same in Miami though, but felt needed to lie. He kept saying he's just dancing with no one and showing everyone his ring when they try to speak to him. I don't believe it for a minute. There were red flags before and a history of mistrust on his part. Besides having my daughter, my biggest regret is not leaving then. I now feel like I am stuck for my daughter's sake and don't know what to do. He comes home today. I don't want to be here, but I need him to be with the baby so I can work, and I know he won't leave either. So do I just pretend I'm not absolutely disgusted at the sight of him for her sake? TLDR. Husband said he was going to Miami for a bachelor party and I found out he went to Colombia. We have a new baby and I feel stuck. Edit to add paragraphs. Edit. Just to be clear, it was his plane ticket that was booked by him over 2 months ago. It was a best man or groomsmen that planned the entire thing. Still a liar regardless, but I think it came across as if booked the whole thing and not just his plane ticket. My boyfriend 35M forgot his wallet and was proud to make 29F. Hey, was he right for doing that and getting made when I got mad? My BF 35M of 2.5 years took 29F to breakfast on Mother's Day. After we ate fish eating, he realized he forgot his wallet. I wasn't upset and told him it's ok, I got it. He later suggested we go watch a movie, but he passed out in the car, so we went home and I told him to sleep. He worked 13 hours the night before, so I wasn't upset. He was tired. I understand why he's so sleepy. During that time, I cleaned the house and watched some videos on my phone. Later at 7 p.m. p.m., I asked if we could go eat at my favorite spot, and he said sure. He looked for his wallet, which were in his shorts, and got ready. We ordered the usual, and when it was time to pay, he said he forgot his wallet. I was silent but surprised because I saw him grab his wallet while getting ready, but I paid and we walked back to the car. During our ride home, he was gloating about how it's been a great Mother's Day for him. A free breakfast and a good long nap and a free meal. How his cousins are gonna laugh about it. Tells them he made pay for everything today. I got upset. I felt like a joke to him. The next morning, he asked me what's wrong that he put the money I spent yesterday in my purse. I took the money out and said to him it's not the money that I'm made about. It's how he made fun of me and how instead of him apologizing, he made a joke out of it. He got mad at for being mad at him. Which one of us two is actually wrong here and why? Edit. This was on Mother's Day, and we both have 2 children from previous marriages. Update. I broke up with him. So this isn't the first time he does something like this. This past Christmas, he told me what he wanted as a gift, which was around $500, and some other small items, which in total around $600, and I also mentioned to him what I wanted, which was around the same price range. When Christmas came, I received nothing. Literally not a damn thing. I forgave him and we passed it. Then my birthday came, and my mom threw a birthday party and he never showed up. I also didn't receive a birthday present. When his birthday came, I got him a cake balance and a small gift. He's never been a thoughtful person or considered my feelings. We go out to eat and always take turns paying for meals. This Mother's Day weekend paid for all the meals and feed him. When I told him that I was done with him, the first thing he said was, "Is because you had to pay." I mentioned to him again that it's not because of that. It's because he made fun of me paying. He said that he's paid before too, and I should stop acting stupid. I told him I don't have a problem paying. I've always helped him out and never asked for the money back. When he got his car, I lent him $3K because he didn't have enough. So far, he's only paid me back $1K. Since we've been together, he's wrecked 2 motorcycles and 2 cars and 2 trucks. When he moved into a new app, I lent him a little over $2K, and I haven't once asked him to pay me back. So it's not about the money. I told him that I'm just tired of him always taking advantage of and then joke about it. I blocked him, and I know I'll be fine without him.